Hello, and welcome back to the pick-up-ant run, where I'm not allowed to pick up any items, which means all chest and NPC loot. And at the moment, it means sleeping, basically. Let's grab these buffs, and all I can pretty much do at the moment is sleep down here in hell and hope that the Skeleton Prime spawns. So I figured while I wait, I could do a sort of Q&A with chat so that I've got something to do at least, I guess. And I'm about to hit 200k, not 200k, it's 20k, hopefully quite soon, with the new video that's just gone out. So I figured now would be like a good time to do a Q&A in general. I had no idea the series is still going and you're still sleeping in hell. Yeah, it's been about 3 streams of sleeping in hell, it seems. Although we have got 2 of the mechs down. Managed to get down both the Destroyer and the Twins. So we've at least got an orange Zappinator now to use against Skeleton Prime. I just have to not die against him like I did in the last one. The last 2 or 3, to be honest. It would also be nice to get the Travelling Merchant to sell me the Sergeant United shield. We wouldn't mind that either. Yeah, other than that, I mean, there's not much I can do at this point in the playthrough. I could expand my platform, because I feel like I'm going to need quite a long arena for Moonlord. So I could keep expanding this further and further and further until I've basically got a world arena. That might be worth doing, to be honest. Probably need more dynasty wood for that, realistically. In fact, yeah, now that it's day, let's do that. Since I'm kind of new to Terraria building that isn't just a wooden box with some walls, do you know how I could make it look like a convincing windmill? Oh. I honestly don't know. I'm also not very good at Terraria building, I should probably add. All I could think of is using like different walls and what are the things that are like walls but not the pedestals? They're not pedestals, but they're something like that. Can't remember the name of them. Pretty sure it starts with a P. Posts, maybe. But yeah, you can use them to just create it in the background so you can still like walk through it and stuff. And I guess if you're making like a wooden one, you just have to stick to wooden things. I should get a builder potion, if I have any. I think I must have used them all. Oh no, there's plenty in here. And do I have... I do have more bass statues, and I could get more heart lanterns. Okay. I'll save the heart lanterns for just now, and we can do that later. Or maybe I'll make an absolutely huge one and use sand supported by platforms as the sails. Yeah, that could work quite well. I'm assuming there's got to be some other white blocks you could use that would make good sails if you're going for like a canvas sort of look. What I should do is expand this top layer first, because that's where I'm actually going to be able to place the campfires and bass statues. There's a bat statue next to it on the left. No, not here, not here. Bat statue is further along, yeah. Need to not waste these bat statues because I've only got a very limited amount of them. I'm trying to do the Sentry Only challenge in Infernum just to destroy my sanity for the rest of the year. That sounds like a really bad idea, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Infernum's pretty bad, and Sentry Only is also pretty bad, so it definitely will ruin your sanity. I guess if that's the aim though, you're keeping to it. Time to place more. Grab some slimy guys. They should help a little. Not much, but should I go watch the new video? That is fully up to you, but I may be biased when I say I would recommend it. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. I am a little worried about Moonlord because I've done a little bit of testing with the weapon options that I've got, and it's not going to be great. Pulse Bow seems to be the most consistent at getting rid of the Moonclots, but even then, it's a case where I have to get at least one crit for it to take down the Moonclots before they reach the Moonlord. So, you know, I may have to resort to some other strategies than just trying to run away from Moonlord and deal damage with a gun or a bow. May have to break out the wiring and the teleporters and things like that. Or use different characters to get enough defender medals to buy some Tavern Keep armor. That could also work. I was absolutely dying when you finally beat Exomex because your reaction was just like mine when I beat Infernum for the first time. Are you talking about the Sentries Only video? Because, yeah, that was a tough one for sure. I'm kind of surprised that I actually managed that because, like, without using, what armor was it? The Valhalla Knight armor, that would not have been possible, and Valhalla Knight armor is so underpowered compared to what you're supposed to have at that point of the game. But it was basically like 2 or 3 times my damage to use that compared to any other armor. Because for some reason, Calamity does not think sentries are worth sets of armor, so. Let's continue this on until we don't get the Bast effect. And then hopefully this will be long enough for if I do want to fight the Moonlord kind of legitimately, I guess. Okay, there we go. Gonna go through a lot of corruption, I think, to get there. I'm still pretty annoyed that in the Calamity updates they're going to change Godslayer armor to be more summoner and ranged based than all 5 classes. I kind of prefer that. I feel like Calamity was kind of suffering from having all of the armor sets just be the same armor but with a different like class damage boost. And I think those are the weakest kinds of armors. I mean, things like Orichalcum can be nice because of the set bonus, but realistically, Orichalcum could just be one set of armor and it wouldn't change things all that much. Like, you could just have Orichalcum with the set bonus, with a few damage buffs. You don't need the separate melee helmet, the separate mage helmet, the separate ranged helmet. It could just be one thing. Yeah, I like it, it's just that I love the melee set because of that charge. Oh, the dash, yeah. Yeah, I feel like making it multi-class would also be an option. But as long as, I mean, you've got solar dash as well for melee. That actually stays quite relevant all the way up to, and potentially past Moonlord. Well, up to and past Devourer of Gods even. Because you're supposed to use it after Moonlord, so yeah. Of course it's going to be relevant past him. So we've not got a travelling merchant to spawn today, but we may still get Skeletron Prime. Also, you could use the Stygian Shield instead of the Godslayer Dash. And then you can use any armor you want, I guess. Like that's quite a powerful item just because of the dash it has. If you haven't seen Prisma Ace's beating Death Master in hardcore mode video, I would very much recommend it. What progression point are you at right now? I am post Destroyer and Twins, but waiting on Skeletron Prime, who has a 10% chance of spawning each night. So at the moment, other than doing some planning for later on, all I can really do is sleep until he spawns. So yeah, I'm doing a bit of the planning just now by expanding my arena so that once I'm fighting Cultist and potentially Moonlord, I might fight him legit, I might do teleport setups. I've at least got the option, I guess, to fight him legit if I do it this way. I'll see what I can do to find a replacement for my beloved Godslayer Dash in the future, but if you haven't seen it already, I can recommend the Tooth and Nail texture pack for the Cultist, Pillared and Moonlord. I'll need to have a look at that. What does it change about them? I'm assuming it's got quite a few changes, but yeah. Is it like a themed revamp, or? The pillars look incredible, and the Moonlord becomes more of a space galaxy themed squid god. As if he wasn't enough of that already, I guess. It's honestly my favourite iteration for their textures. I will try and remember that for after the stream and look into it. Tooth and Nail. The Cultist looks cool, but I can't quite describe it. I'll see, I mean, I mainly play for videos, so it would depend on what kind of video I'm doing. Like if I was doing something that required the vanilla textures, I wouldn't be able to use modded, obviously. Or not required, but would look better with it. Like sometimes if I'm watching a video with someone using the Calamity texture pack, it can be quite distracting because I'm not quite sure what each item is supposed to be. And then I'm like trying to figure it out while also watching the video, you know. Just takes an extra bit of brain power, I guess. Just changes enemy textures, not weapons, which is another thing you like about it. Yeah, I will 100% look into it if I remember. And I'm hoping that I do remember, because it does sound pretty cool. One extra. There we go. What made you decide to start YouTube? I didn't necessarily decide to start YouTube. I decided to make one video, or one video series, which was the Zenith Ingredients Only one. Because at the time no one had done it yet, and it seemed like quite a fun challenge. And I was right, it was a fun challenge. And then just kind of led on from there. Like after I did that, I then was like, I want to try this whole 100 days thing that people are doing at the moment. And that was also quite fun to make. Although, also quite a lot more work than the Zenith Ingredients one was, I must say. Let's get all this lit up as well. But yeah, the whole YouTube thing is probably more work than I ever thought it was going to be. Like each video that may only be like 30 minutes long could easily take like over 100, 200 hours to make. Please, if you look at Moonlord texture packs, do not look too far. Okay. I'm now worried. What's in the Moonlord texture packs? I'm not gonna actually do this while it's night, because I will die if I do. I've made that mistake myself, and trust me when I say you do not want to find the female Moonlord texture. Well, yeah, I was going to say what would be different, but there's a couple of things I could think would be different about the female one. And back to sleeping. So yeah, Microwave, are you interested in starting YouTube yourself? That you've asked that question, or are you just curious? Once it gets to 4:30, we will go and continue building our bridge out, or our arena, should I say. It's more than a bridge. I've thought about it sometimes, but I feel like it's another thing I would start and then get bored of. Yeah, that's fair. I guess you don't have to do it long term. Like, you can just dip in and out of it as you find things that inspire you. Like, when I started it, I didn't know that I would still be doing it this far down the line, I guess. And at the time, I probably would have said that, yeah, doing one thing for like 3 or 4 years or however long it's been would be quite boring after a certain point. But I mean, depending on what kind of videos you're doing, you can definitely keep it fresh. But who knows, I'll probably end up, well, I might end up getting bored in the next 2 or 3 years of making YouTube videos as well, and then I'll see what happens. But for the time being, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I hope you can continue to do it and maybe branch out into other games. If I can support you in any way, let me know. That's very kind of you. Yeah, honestly, just watching the videos is pretty much the biggest bit of support that any of you could do. I do have a Patreon, but that's more for if just people just want to help out rather than any kind of benefits. I mean, they do get videos like a few days early most of the time, unless there's something timely. Like if there's an update, I might have to just put that straight to YouTube rather than to Patreon first. But yeah, honestly, just watching the videos is more than helpful. Okay, let's go back to sleeping. Sounds like I need to go to Patreon if it means I get videos early. That is fully up to you. Yeah, I'm hoping to have another video out this month. Last month was kind of a work in the background on like 3 or 4 different videos, and that means that hopefully I'll be able to get them out closer together than October. Because October I got 1 video out at the start and then nothing for the rest of it, which was not great. Yeah, I'd much prefer to have a video out every week or 2. But the issue is they take a long time to make. Like that Short Swords Only video probably took maybe 120 to 150 hours to make overall, and that's one of the more simple edited ones. Like I didn't even add that much to it. This other video that I've been working on, the low percent one from Calamity, I don't know if any of you were there for the streams, that is taking absolutely ages to make, because I'm kind of taking it a bit more seriously than I've taken any other video in the past, which means it's hopefully going to be my best video in terms of quality. Whether or not it performs well is another matter. I really hope it does, because I've honestly put like so much effort into it. So I'm hoping it works out, but we'll see. Yeah, for that one I'm trying to think more about like what the viewer sees and what the viewer needs to know, and rather than just saying what happened, like I beat this boss, then I beat this boss, and then I went and mined this over. I'm trying to actually, I guess, plan it out like an actual video that you would want to watch regardless of the content of it, I guess. Which takes a lot more thought. Crazy that putting more effort in takes more thought and effort. I never would have guessed that. Is it going to be more like a video essay than a challenge video? Not like a video essay necessarily. It's more like it's going to be... I hate the phrase like full movie, but this is as much of a movie as I could make it in a way, and I'm not going to call it like Calamity Low Percent full movie, unless it does really badly with the title that I do give it. But yeah, I'm trying to actually think of like each scene, I guess, as like an individual thing, and what the viewer needs to know, what the viewer is seeing, what the viewer is hearing. I'm using music a lot more intentionally in it than I do usually. Like I would, if for most other videos I've kind of used music as like the last step. Like once I've got everything in place, I'll then add a song that fits each vibe, whereas with this I'm working the other way around, and I'm like adding a song first and then saying like, right, what am I going to show with that song, and what am I going to say while that's going, I guess. Like if I've got this song for the Wall of Flesh fight, what am I showing at each, different section of the song, and what am I saying? Like, is it got a dip in the song where it's a bit more chill and I can speak then, or is it like high action the whole way through? So there's a lot more like gaps where I'm not speaking probably than usual, and I'm also not just fighting bosses in it, I guess. Like I can't be. There's literally just 9 bosses that I would fight throughout the whole thing. Oh god, I'm going to have to get through this to get to my useful sentry. Well, if you've got an oasis nearby, like so you don't have to go past the corruption to get to it, you can always fish for a conch and then use that to get to the ocean. Is the title going to be How I Beat the Calamity mod in Only 9 Bosses? That's one of the possibilities. I have like a few different options that I'm thinking of, and I might try them out once the video is out. But I think I've also got a thumbnail concept now that actually works for it. Part of the issue with that one taking so long is that I, for so long, did not have a concept for the thumbnail. And it's not a particularly easy concept to visualize, like the whole low percent. Like the only other low percent video that's done very well on YouTube is just the player standing next to Yaren with some text. Like I don't think it's the thumbnail that did well for that. I think it was the concept, because it was fresh and it was new and people were like, oh, how can you beat Yaren before Moonlord? Whereas now that people have seen that, they'll probably think or be less likely to click on another low percent video unless it's got a good thumbnail. I mean, if you have any ideas for another thumbnail concept, then let me know. That's the part of YouTube that I probably hate most, is coming up with the thumbnail ideas. Because it feels so much like luck, just whether an idea will come to you. Because you could sit for like 3 hours looking at a blank page, thinking of like, how am I going to show this video in a small thumbnail that people are watching on a phone? And it's so difficult to try and get all the information that people need and also try and intrigue them and keep their interest and be like, oh, you want to watch this video. It's probably the hardest part for me, at least, or the part that I'm the worst at, because it is just luck whether I get something viable or not. I mean, if you look at the skyblock that I did recently, the thumbnail concept came before the video concept for that, for the series. But then for the actual video that did really well, that got like 800,000 views or whatever it's on now, I didn't think of that concept until I was adding all the different parts together. And I was like, I'll just throw together this and say it's the entire world. And then it did really well, and I honestly thought that it was going to flop when I uploaded it. I was like, this might be the sort of video that does well in a couple of years' time when people get brought to the channel by another video. But it's now my most viewed video and my most clicked on video, which is insane because it's just a compilation of the last 5 videos or whatever. I think it would be cool if you had the first 8 bosses silhouettes in grid format, 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, then Escal silhouette and a circle in the middle or something. Yeah, that could work. As long as the boss silhouettes are identifiable, I guess. Then put like a white question mark in the middle of each silhouette. I might try that and see how it looks. At the moment, my concept is using the warp pipe room from Super Mario Brothers, with different bosses above each pipe. Because that's kind of what you're doing in a low percent, is you're like, I'm going to skip this world and go to world 4 straight away, and then I'll skip that one and go to world 8. So I'm hoping that the concept is universal enough that people will be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I'm wondering if I should go looking for more potions. Other than regen potions, I'm probably okay. For the basic ones at least, like swiftness and iron skin. I suppose I've only got 5 heart reach and 5 life force left. 4 thorns, 1 inferno. If I'm going to keep using the Zappinator, I will need more magic power at some point. And then Inferno. I think Inferno I only get from hell chests, so I'll have to go to other worlds for that. I guess either I win this next fight with Skeletron Prime and then need to go to other worlds to get more potions, or I lose it and then need to go to worlds to get more potions. Patrons see the thumbnails before you post the videos, even on Patreon. They don't see the thumbnails, no. I do sometimes post like a spoiler of the next video. Like I put the first section of the low percent run on a couple of months ago, because that's how long I've been making it. I mean, I'm only like 12-13 minutes into it now, and I've been editing it for like 3 or 4 months at this point. If you can't pick up items, then all you get is from chests. So chests and NPC shops, yeah. So everything here is either bought or looted from a chest, or crafted from something that's looted from a chest, like the gold watch. Something I'm keeping up my sleeve for potentially using in the end game is Defender medals, because if you talk to the Tavern Keep for the first time, he will give you 10. So with 15 separate characters, I could get enough Defender medals to get a full set of armor at the end game, which I may use, I may not, we'll see. The Sentry itself would also probably upgrade my damage quite a lot, because my weapon choice is very limited. The best option for Moonlord is looking to be the Pulse Bow, which is a post-Plantera weapon from the Travelling Merchant that really doesn't deal that much damage when I've not got any buffs. I love when every enemy and their mum is keeping me from getting good items early game. That's the best part of Terraria. After you beat Plantera, could you get the truffle and buy mushrooms to make healing potions? So in this run, healing potions aren't actually that useful. The best healing potions are restoration potions, because I only have a maximum of 120 life. So getting 90 life, like chances are I'm going to be using the potions when I'm on at least like 10, 20 hearts. So using the 90 will get me pretty much close to full health, and I get the reduced potion cooldown. So I'm just going to stick to restoration potions for the time being. The next best I think would be honey, because I get the 80 life plus the effects of honey, as opposed to just using a healing potion for the 100 health. I also have the truffle already. He's sitting over here, but he doesn't actually help us get any potions, I don't think. How did you get 120 life? That's if I use a life force potion, because I get the extra 20%. That is the only way that I can increase my health in this playthrough, which is kind of sad. That's probably the thing that has locked off the most things in this playthrough. Like, if I could get even like 5 life crystals, I would then be able to get goblins, I'd be able to get pirates for the pirate captain. I mean, the goblin alone would unlock the combination of different ingredients for accessories. I'd be able to upgrade all the way to frost spark boots, but not quite what'd you call it? Not quite Terra Spark boots, because I wouldn't be able to get the obsidian flower. It would unlock reforging. Reforging would be pretty massive in this. Also, just having a bottle with a double jump and a balloon would be quite useful, especially in pre-hard mode. But reforging alone would increase my damage by maybe like 20%, because a lot of the best reforges give you maybe 15% damage and 5% crit or something like that. Plus some fire speed for different things. It'll also get me the nurse, which I could then use to cheese bosses in the late game. But money is still quite tight, I guess, because all the money I can get is from selling things that I find in chests. I'm just thinking, I have found the temple, right? I've maybe not found the temple, actually. I could spend this time doing that instead of sleeping, but I don't know if it's worth the time, to be honest, at the moment, because I can't do anything once I'm there. Other than collect potions. That would be a way to collect more potions. It'd be nice to have a better weapon when I go in there though, like the pulse bow would help a lot. Ah, no spawn tonight. I honestly thought I found the temple. I could be thinking of another playthrough. Very possible. Are you using any mods or is this vanilla? This is 100% vanilla. Right, I'm gonna go look through the jungle. This may be a bad idea, but we'll find out. Okay, it's already seeming like a bad idea. at least this box is safe. I do need to get rid of these honey blocks though for the Plantera fight. The idea is that the honey will hopefully stop the thorny balls from bouncing back up at me. What's that white thing in the jungle? That is my arena. I've spawn-proofed the whole thing because I really want the Plantera fight to go as well as it can. I think I may need to add more honey to the bottom of this. This is a good amount of honey just by breaking this hive. What games do you play besides Terraria? I honestly don't play too many. I play Minecraft occasionally when I go through like the 2-week phase. I play Stardew on the Switch sometimes, but it's mainly Terraria to be honest at the moment. And before Terraria, it was just really Minecraft. I mean, also there's also the 2-week Fortnite phase, which is a thing that me and my friends will occasionally go back to reminisce of the good old days before they added way too much to the game and made it bloated. "100% not out of 100% out of desperation. Wait. 100% not out of desperation and just curiosity. Where would I find the rusty beacon prototype?" That is in the Sulphur Sea. There's a chest, I believe it's right at the bottom of the Sulphur Sea, that always has the rusty beacon prototype. Yeah, bringing back OG Season 1 Fortnite for good in December. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should hopefully be quite fun. I have played a couple of games of the Season 2 one with a friend, and it's decent, but I feel like Season 1 was just better. Even though just going back to like the Season 1 map and Season 1 guns aren't necessarily like, it's not the same, and I'm not just saying it's not the same because it's like, oh, it's the nostalgia that's good. Like, the art style has changed quite a lot, the meta has changed quite a lot. Like, players are almost too good now, I think. It's so hard if you don't play every week, like multiple hours, to actually keep up with the level of players at the moment. I feel like maybe adding a slow building mode would make a lot of sense, because I want to be able to build, but I don't want to like come up against people that just build 5,000 walls per second and box me in and then kill me. I'd prefer to have like an actual fort building game, and no build doesn't allow that, and neither does the normal build mode, I guess, because it's too sweaty. To make sure I don't get the water in here. So can I hit this bee? Yeah, there we go. Do you do this full time or do you work? I'm attempting to do this full time now. For the last few months I've been focusing kind of 100% on this. And there has been a couple of months where it's actually paying the bills, which is nice. And part of that is just that I do live quite frugally. I don't spend a lot, which means I can afford to do this more than a lot of others would. A big part of that is that I don't live in the US and therefore have nationalised healthcare, which means I don't need to be employed in order to worry about like not having access to healthcare, which is nice. Lifesaver wouldn't have found the sentry without you. I'm glad you found it because it is such an upgrade over the squirrel one. Like, I genuinely don't think it's possible to beat the game using, or to beat the first few bosses using the squirrel one. Almost got rid of the wrong block there. Ow. Yeah, still not getting any spawns of anything. And it's annoying to reforge, great. Hey, at least you can reforge. Try playing the game without being able to pick up items, because then you can't. Reforging is illegal. So we've got a fair amount of honey coming in here. And this is where we're going to use, hopefully get a planter to spawn. Which means I think we're back to just being able to sleep, to be honest. Can't really think of anything else that I can do at the moment to prepare. Oh, you should also remember for the Rusty Beacon prototype that it doesn't deal enough damage to be able to get Ruthless. So something like Mythical or Mystic, I believe, are good enough. So if you're trying to reforge and get Ruthless, it probably won't happen on that. Or if it does, you're no better than just using another damaging boost. Oh, it feels so slow. Is it worth... Because I can get, I don't know why I'm going to save and quit. If I go to the Dryad, where's the Dryad? Is she here? Yeah, I could get some sunflowers. And then I can use the dirt rod to move dirt. place some grass seeds on it. And then get the sunflower buff for the movement speed. And I could actually do that at the arena that I have as well, which might be an idea. As long as it doesn't get in the way of platforming. Of course, the next question is, can I just place this on jungle grass? I'm assuming not. Oh, I can. Lovely. So if I just place one on each side... Gonna need to wait for grass to grow there, I think. Yeah. It should be able to grow. Do I need it then up in this corner? I do. Let's just place one here. And then is it worth placing one at the top just so that I have full coverage? If I break these blocks. Where did they go? Oh, I only bought 2. Okay. I usually go for mythical. Do you mean like all the time? Like you always go for mythical? Because a lot of the time it's better to use what do you call it? Ruthless for summon weapons. Because they don't really benefit from like mana and stuff like that. Let's place one there and then can head to the bottom maybe. No, it's probably not worth placing one down at the bottom. Have you watched any of Terrasteel's streams about this challenge? I have, yes. And I have thoughts. I think that doing it in For the Worthy is maybe going to be a mistake and make it, if not impossible, incredibly difficult to pull off. And well, more so doing it in one world. See, in this one, if I run out of money, I can go to another world, loot up some chests, and get more. But for them, they have to just use what they've got in the one world. Between 2 of them as well, so they're going to have to buy 2 of everything for it to be useful. And that's expensive. That's really expensive when all you can do is loot chests for money. Because there's not much loot in the world, all things considered. Right, do I have the dirt rod? Yes, dirt rod is here. Okay, what I maybe want to do is... yeah, let's do this side so that I don't accidentally mess up and hit the bass statue. If I come down here and do this, I knew the dirt rod would be useful at some point. Oh. Am I going to need to make a platform for the dirt to land on? That's fine, we've got plenty of dirt in the world. Okay, and then I can do this. And this. And then I should have the sunflower buff down here. Yes, I do. Perfect. I literally commented on your new vid. Yes, I think I replied to it. You were asking about the... whatchamacallit? The use of the Aquatic Scourge summon in pre-hard mode. Yeah. You can grab that because it doesn't actually need anything from hard mode to make. Thanks for not killing me there. Oh, I guess I didn't do Dragon Folly in the run. Lol. It wasn't necessary. Well, no. I must have at some point, yeah. I think I maybe just didn't show it. But I must have, because I did end up using the Effulgent Feathers to summon Yaren. I think I just did it so late that it wasn't worth showing, because it was quite an easy fight. If I place this in the block, it's just going to fall, yeah. And I can't place this midair, right? No. Didn't even see that one there. Terra could be doing for the item or weapon changes. That doesn't really come with any changes. It's whatchamacallit? It's the other one that comes with the changes, remix. So that's another option for the late game if I can't get through it normally, is using some of the changes that I keep saying Infernum instead of remix seed comes with. Because I could go to a remix seed, get some specific weapons, and then bring them over and they'll deal their normal amount of damage instead of their remix damage. Because most of the weapons have different all the weapons have different stats that are available at different points. Let's get rid of this antlion before he destroys everything. Excess sand. I casually beat King Slime and Dive Cthulhu and Zenith Seed. Well done. Actually, not casually, yeah. That makes more sense. Okay, 30 miles per hour as opposed to once I get out of the sunflower range. Let's see what we've got. I think it's only a small buff, but it'll also reduce enemy spawns, which is nice. Even if it's like one less enemy per fight, that could change quite a big bit. Okay, so it seems my speed is the same. I thought Sunflower was supposed to boost your speed. I suppose it might increase my flying... No, my flying speed seems to be the same as well. Well, we're still gonna do it anyway, I guess. There's no reason not to. I'll take any buff I can get, to be honest. Because I'm going to have so few of them for the actual fight. Ow. That died off screen. Yeah, closer to more dirt here. Can you tell me why I couldn't get this rogue weapon from fishing in Astral Biome? I fished for 2 hours. Do you have enough fishing power? I feel like there's a... like you need to have a certain amount of fishing power to get it. Or something like that. I would just double check that it's possible for it to drop in the first place. Am I really 2 seeds short of a full arena? Certainly appears that way. Let's grab some more actually, just for having. Yeah, an extra 50 should be good. Come on, don't die. Just let me get this done. Nope, not like that. Okay. Full sunflower arena. Beautiful. They can go back in there, and yeah, I'm pretty sure sunflower everywhere. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to quickly head to the toilet, and then we're going to go back to sleep for another 5 hours probably. So I will see you in a minute. And I'm back. Play Calamity with the JoJo stand mod, it's fun. I'm not really a big anime fan. Not because I think it's bad or anything, I just never really have got into it, so I don't know too much about that. With enough imagination, this stream will smell like cotton candy. Does cotton candy have a smell though? I genuinely can't think of if cotton candy has a smell. I actually almost killed Nameless Doodoo in 9 secs of stopped time with Celestus, or how this miracle rogue weapon called. Hi Bone Reaper, how are you doing? It will smell like cotton candy. I don't know if cotton candy will smell like cotton candy. I don't know if it's a thing anywhere else, but here in the UK we call cotton candy candy floss. I don't know if that's something that other countries do as well. Fargo's has item that can change world difficulty and let you go into journey mode. That's why Fargo's is a very unbalanced mod. No, it's not unbalanced in the context of like Fargo's Souls, but Fargo's mutant mod in the context of any other playthrough is quite overpowered. Oh, we have a Bone Reaper comment to go through from the latest video. I'm excited for the essay. Let's have a look. A few notes I'd give on builds along the way that I noticed. Early on, the Abyssal Amulet would have made all of pre-hard mode way easier, since it's a very strong debuff, and means that hit and run tactics are much more effective. So I kind of wanted to make sure it was the actual short swords doing the damage for the most part. The one exception was Aquatic Scourge, because I genuinely didn't want to go through a half-hour fight, so I used Curse Flames flasks for the debuff there. But I didn't want to use like an accessory that gave debuff damage, because then I might get comments of people saying, oh, you're not actually doing short swords only, you're doing short swords with the Abyssal Amulet only. For most of hard mode it's decent enough, but later on it's odd to see boots in use at all, since they are in most cases just a wasted slot, as you use wings so much more, and with bunny hopping you can keep up a good ground speed still. So on fights like Moonlord especially, it would have definitely been better to have the Celestial Shell on for major stats and resistance to the Night Weather debuff that Moonlord inflicts. This would have also helped in Empress of Light fights, as she also inflicts this debuff. Yeah, that's fair. I'm vanilla minded when it comes to boots. I keep forgetting that they're not actually that useful in Calamity at least, because your movement speed is buffed anyway. As for early post Moonlord, any tracers are just an instant no-go. They again provide very little benefit over other wings, as you tend to not just run around, and even then the bunny hopping works just fine, as well as them just having significantly worse flight time than other lunar wings. Need to break to kill that imp, and then back to sleep. Yeah, I kind of agree with the wings part. Again, I think what it is that the boots are really useful outside of boss fights. Like, having tracers for going around the world helps so much more than normal wings, so they kind of just stay on for the boss fights unintentionally. I did use like Tarragon wings with the Tarragon armor, but yeah, the tracers aren't so bad that they're unusable. They're just slightly worse than the other wing options that you've got. So I don't see it as a massive issue using them, to be honest. Like, I know it's less efficient, but I didn't struggle too much in Post Moonlord anyway. I think pretty much every boss was a first attempt other than Stormweaver, and I took 3 attempts on the final 2. I think everything else was the first attempt. Yeah, I've definitely got a lot better at post Moonlord than I previously was. As a separate note, killing Providence in the Hallow is not needed since the wings are not much better than just Tarragon wings are as wings. And in fact, some cases Tarragon can be better thanks to more flight time. But with Tarragon armour on Elysian wings would have even less of a use, as the wing set bonus stats from Tarragon just outperform the minor mobility ups you would get from Elysian. So you don't even need to kill her. So you only even need to kill her in the underworld, which is nice since you should clear an arena down there for Brimstone Elemental and Cygnus, as well as Guardians and Providence. Meaning far less time on arenas spent on the world. I did notice you actually used them, but never mentioned this, so I did. Yeah, I usually have to take her down twice anyway, just to get enough Divine Geodes, so taking her down once in the Hallowed and once in the Underworld just kind of makes sense anyway. Like, if you're going to craft a full set of Tarragon armour and get the Elderberry, you're on 2 kills already as it is, so you may as well just do both, because then at least you've got the option of that extra accessory. Plus they're used in the Tracers later on, which I know aren't as good as the normal wings that you could get, but they have an overall better... They have more utility than normal wings, I would say, even if the stats are worse. Oh, Travelling Merchant, let's see what she's got. I keep saying she, I mean he. Where is it? We're going to go with it. Travelling Merchant isn't it. And nothing. Or at least nothing useful. Back to bed. For dog, unless you're doing very much so a pure DPS build or are extremely confident, even still most of the time, having the flesh totem on is an incredible safety net, as it lets you tank a head hit and still be left with most of your HP. So I would always recommend it be on. After the low percent run, I generally feel like I'm quite confident with the dog fight. I don't think I ever got hit by the head during the fight in the short swords run. Plus the weapon I was using had so much range that since I've got a ram dash, it's kind of hard to be hit by the head anyway. Because I don't have to position myself in such a way to get true melee hits off like I did in the low percent run. But yeah, for general knowledge, I would recommend using it, I guess, if you're not as confident with the fight. But in the case there, I did feel reasonably confident with it. And I did it first time, so it wasn't too much of an issue, I guess. On Yaren there are 2 things. One is not that major, and one is just outright baffling. First is the use of Chalice of the Blood God. It's at best mediocre, and at worst, most often a wasted slot and a hindrance. It's pretty much just a Charm of Myths, not blood packed, with a 25% max HP buff. And it does still fully stack with blood packed, but the problem is that the effect it has on top of that is just not good. The bleeding you take is equal to the hit that triggered it. The 5 damage you take up front still doesn't protect adrenaline or dodges, so that's not a use for it. And the item wants you to use a healing potion to cut the bleeding in half, but in most cases, if it's your first hit, let's say for 300 damage worth of bleed, and you instantly heal, then you just wasted half of the potion's own healing on damage you have yet to receive, and half of that original 300 damage still goes through as you bleed, meaning you just wasted 75% of your potion's healing on getting half of the effectiveness while still taking half the damage. And if you wait to get hit again to get more bleeds to cut, more often than not you would have already bleed the original damage. Okay, I'm going to take a break to kill this guy. And then back to reading the Bone Reaper comment. Meaning you're now on 2/3 HP, where yes, the item finally has some use, But again, if you now take a 300 damage hit, then you can heal for the original damage of the first hit and cut the next damage in half, which sounds good until you realise that this is on a 45-second cooldown. My comeback to that is that if you're on like 200 HP and you get hit for 300 HP, you have time to regen enough health to survive. Like the damage over time gives you time to regenerate health, because the damage over time doesn't interfere with your natural healing anyway. And at that point of the game, you generally have pretty high regen. So it can act as like a safety net for allowing you to survive an extra hit. And then if you do manage to get a healing potion off when you're at low health, you do get that benefit of the half damage essentially. That was the more minor note, as in actually play it serves no benefit with little hindrance, but it has the potential to cause a lot more harm than it can ever help in anything. But the major thing is using the Elysian Tracers. They are not the worst option at a stage comparatively to any stage in the game, as they're pretty much just 1.8 times to 2 times worse than the next best option. And I can't think of another stage where there was a big gap in the options, as Silver Wings as a base have a general 80% better with stats as wings, which if you then use any flight stat buffs will become just far bigger gap fast. So Tracers are probably the worst option you can use on Yaren, since they literally are the worst of the two by all accounts. And that is the reason why the Elysian Wings from Providence are just useless, as Targon already covers their role and Silva just outperforms Tracers so hard that it's not even funny. The other thing was then you have to farm for Silva Wings, which I couldn't be bothered doing, which probably isn't a good reason, but it is our reason. And for the finally same notes as the two previous on the gear through Celestial Tracers, though Celestial Tracers are bad, they aren't nearly as abhorrently ass when comparing to the best option of just upgrading Drew's Wings. Just not upgrading Drew's Wings. Still a fun video overall, and I personally think that as a subclass, the fact that it changes from an up-close one to a more ranged one is not inherently a bad thing. Obviously it's just an opinion of mine, as I don't see the damage tag on a weapon as a good way to judge how it should be, but more so as a place to draw ideas from. Yeah, that makes sense. I generally think that with the defensive buffs you get using melee armor, it makes sense to be shorter range, and especially in Post Moonlord, the short swords only subclass just is not close range at all. It goes from being really fun and close range in pre-Moonlord to Post Moonlord just being the same as every other weapon. I guess it's like if you were doing a summoner playthrough and in pre-Moonlord all of the minions were like summons that floated around and had their own AI and did damage, and in post-Moonlord all summon weapons suddenly became the equivalent of guns, and it's just a weapon that you hold and shoot. Like, it was a bit jarring, I guess, to go from such a unique playstyle to then just, oh, I'm just dodging bosses and shooting in a random general direction, and because every weapon has homing, it's good enough to deal with the bosses. Like, I think I had more fun in the low percent run defeating Dog because it was difficult and I had to use a true melee weapon to do enough damage. Whereas in the short swords only run, I literally just ran from the boss while shooting homing like scythes at it, and then dodged out the way of its head at the last second. Hey, how's your day going? It's going pretty well, yeah. I got the video out, which is good, and now we're hopefully going to get through at least the last mech boss, which is Skeletron. And we're going to get a spawn in 3 seconds. Nope, didn't happen. Damn it. Why are we back in the Sleeping in Hell while talking to the chat segment? Because that's the only segment we can do at the moment. I've already upgraded the Plantera arena by putting more honey at the bottom and upgrading my arena here by adding sunflowers. So I don't know what else I can do really to upgrade things. I could expand this further, but that feels a bit excessive. And I don't have the bass statues for it, so I would have to go to different worlds and farm for more bass statues. Yeah, I don't know what else we could do. We could look for the temple, but I feel like having the armor buff from Tiki armor will make that easier. And then I may as well just like go straight into the fight rather than having to find the temple now and then go back to it later. I suppose I could secure the temple, but again, it'd be easier to do that when I've got defense. Like get in and break all the traps, things like that. I'm really hoping for a good temple arena, to be honest. I probably should have saved one bass statue for the temple. I may have to look for another bass statue to do that with. Yeah, you probably should have looked for the temple in pre-hard mode. It's not a big deal, I guess. The jungle isn't too difficult. And it's not like it gets buffed after Plantera anyway, so doing it after Plantera won't really affect much. I'm hoping we don't have to go back to tier lists. So yeah, give me any questions you have that you want me to answer in chat. The blue or the red Doritos? This is gonna potentially lose me some subs, but crisps in general are disgusting. The idea of them, I know you call them like chips in America, but here they're called crisps, and I can't think of anything worse. Like the texture of them, the messiness of them, like just horrible. For you know, you don't get one shot in hard mode jungle, but it's still going to be way harder than in pre-hard mode. Yeah, that's true. I don't really have much to ask. I suppose the temple itself won't be any harder now than it was in pre-hard mode. It'll be easier, if anything, because I'll have more defense. Would you prefer a cupcake or a muffin? Probably a chocolate muffin, to be honest. With like, I don't know how many people here are from the UK, but a Greg's chocolate muffin with like the chocolate filling inside. Oh, beautiful. I'm personally just not too partial to very salty foods. Same with popcorn. Yeah, I feel the same, to be honest. I don't mind something salty if it's like warm and filling. Don't take that out of context. But if it's just like a snack, like, it's not for me. Okay, we're getting another mech spawn tonight. 5 seconds, come on. Damn it. This will get me some hate, but Little Bakery is better than Greg's. I actually, for pastries, I agree with you. Pastries from Lidl are unparalleled. If you get a a pain au chocolat from Lidl, that's probably the best pain au chocolat you'll get outside of France. Opinion on cornbread, and would you have it instead of cake? Not a hyper-specific question. I don't know what cornbread is. I've never had that. I'm assuming it's just bread made with corn flour instead of like wheat flour, but I've never had that. But Linktash, I'm with you on the Lidl opinion. Greggs has some standouts, but Lidl also has some standouts. The good thing about Greggs is you can go in the morning and get a filled roll and a coffee for like $2.65 or something. And if you want to get a sausage and a bacon roll and a coffee, you can get them for like £3.20. Which you can't really do anywhere else these days. So Greggs is really good for a morning. Probably not good for my health, but that's future me's problem. The apple turnover is to die for, not gonna lie. I haven't tried that one. I'll need to give it a go. Like most people, I do live quite close to a Lidl, so I could go try it later today. I'm not familiar with Lidl or Greggs. Well, Lidl is kind of like an entirely European thing, I guess. And Greggs is like specifically UK. There's maybe like one or two outside of the UK, but I imagine it is predominantly all in the UK. It's basically like a cafe, I guess, like a takeaway cafe, but like a big chain. But also not really coffee based. It's a bakery. Yeah, it's a bakery, I guess. It's the best way of describing Greggs. It's also a national treasure. Are we talking about Lidl, the store chain, or something else? Yeah, the store chain. They have bakeries here. I don't know if they do elsewhere, but in the UK they have bakeries and they're really good. Especially for pastries. Like sweet pastries. I don't know if they even do savoury ones, but... Oh, they do pizza, which isn't a pastry, but it is savoury. But I can't comment on the pizza, I've never had that. I'm assuming Lidl don't have bakeries in the US then. Not here, they're just a store chain here, though they do have baked goods too. Do you mean like baked goods that are like packaged? Because here it's like a separate bakery section where you get like freshly made stuff. I'm European too. Oh, I didn't know that. I just assume that everyone I meet on the internet is American. And most of the time, it's not wrong. No, yeah, a separate section, but not an entire bakery. Well, it's not like a traditional bakery where like you go up and talk to the person and get it packaged for you. It's just like a place where you go pick what you want and put it in a bag yourself. It's possible that the UK has different definitions for bakery than like Central Europe as well. We're probably a lot more liberal with the word. Also, we do not have Greggs here, so I can't compare. Well, if you ever come to the UK, you need to give it a try. It's not meant to be like the high dining or anything. It's meant to be like the cheap, reliable thing that you can get for a lunch or a breakfast. The sausage rolls are really good. I'd recommend those. Come on, we need to get a mix bun one of these nights. There's one left, and it's probably going to take like 3 times as long as the others did. In the meantime, is there anything else I can do to prepare for endgame? Because it's pretty much just a straight shot from Skeletron Prime to Plantera to Golem to Lunatic Cultist to Moonlord. with the only things that are going to change really being that I can get a pulse bow after Plantera, and I can get steampunk wings after Golem. And then maybe after Golem I will do the Old One's army and all that stuff. We'll see. I always feel funny talking to people from different parts of the UK because they have no idea what I'm on about half the time, since I'm from the northeast and sound completely different. Yeah, the UK is quite a... like, there's different sections of the UK that are very different, I guess. And it's probably the same in America with different states, but I guess the difference is that the UK is the size of a state and probably has as many differences as all of the states do among each other. Are you going to go for the Old One's army in the end? Maybe. I'm not entirely decided. I'm assuming we're not going to get onto that this stream. I'm thinking the furthest we'll get here is Skeletron Prime, Plantera, and maybe Golem. Oh, solar eclipse. Right, well, let's go look for the jungle temple, because I don't really want to fight the solar eclipse, and I don't really want to be on the surface for it. This does not benefit me at all. What are your opinions on shrooms in Terraria for obvious reasons? Pretty good, I guess. Yeah, it's good. Goodbye. Well, there's us found the temple. I feel like I must have found that earlier and just didn't have it marked or something. And a chest. I guess there's some extra potions. Let's break that so I don't get confused thinking I haven't looted it later. Okay, I need to get rid of that trap. Pressure plate, yep. And then hoik. I don't really have the inventory space for this. This is an issue. I can't actually see what I'm doing. But I think if I just hammer them once each. Yeah, there we go. And then I die. Brilliant. Danger sense is good to have. I don't know if I have any danger sense left, but I'll check. I could also just buy the mechanical lens from the mechanic. Oh god, this is going to be horrible. Yep. Okay, I need to not spend any time at home. There we go. Yeah, that's worth it. And I will sell Band of Regen, keep the archery potion. I guess let's have a piggy bank down here, it's useful. And I will place all my potions in here for the fight. Yeah, and then I can actually go looting the jungle temple without worrying about inventory maxing out. You can't see wires in the temple. Oh yeah, that's true, they changed that. Damn. Okay, I guess we're just going to be real careful then, because I don't think I have any danger sense potions left. I think I used them all while exploring, thinking I wouldn't need them later on. Okay, let's just get in here, because enemies should not be able to follow us, really. Maybe enemies can follow us. Okay, they hit quite hard. Didn't realise that was a spike. Thought that was just some debris on the ground. In a vanilla low percent run, that temple entrance would have meant a rest. What do you mean? This is fun. A reset, yeah, yeah. How would it have meant a reset, actually? I'm not quite sure I follow. Let's get rid of those spikes on the ground at least. Let's just take this slow and easy, I guess. Since you can't use the keys to get in and can't hammer to hoik, why can't you hammer to hoik in vanilla low percent? I mean, do you, like, vanilla low percent's kind of, like, not a thing, I guess. Since all you really need to do in vanilla is kill a Skeletron, kill the wall, kill the mech bosses, Plantera, Golem, and you're done, I guess. Like, there's not really much option in a vanilla low percent run. No traps in here, that's weird. We'll get rid of these though. Oh, picking up a hammer is an achievement. Oh, okay, so you mean an achievement low percent rather than like a boss low percent. Didn't know that was a thing. It's beating the game with low percent, since you can actually do a low percent run and not just a boss low percent run like in Calamity. Yeah. I just didn't know that was a thing, I guess. I will come back for the chests. No, I guess I can get the chests on my way. Probably definitely missed some chests so far, but we'll see. I think it's 10 achievements are needed to beat the game. Interesting. Do you know what those achievements are by any chance? Not necessarily all of them, just like the general gist. A lot of them here just now. At least we found where the room is, so it's not that deep a temple, to be honest. I did drop gold, which is a little annoying. I've got another one there. I suppose let's continue, because there's nothing else I can do while there's a solar eclipse. Okay, just break these so I know that I've looted them. Missed that one up there to break, but oh well. Okay, let's get all this lit up. Almost got these spikes gone. Okay, I think that should be, at least for the most part, quite safe now. Get rid of that, loot this. I may want to do the whole Hoik wall thing for the fireballs, to be honest. But I want to make sure I do that properly by actually like checking a guide on how to do it, because I don't remember off the top of my head. God, this is so hard to actually hit enemies with sometimes. Okay, yeah, last one there. And then I'm done. Yeah, nothing up here. Good, good. Okay, let's place a platform here. You should fill the floor a bit to have a more consistent arena. Yeah, I will do. I will do. It's not a bad temple, to be honest. I've had worse. You're maybe just used to the Calamity one being like 5 times the size, I guess. Yeah, I've had much worse, to be honest. We are done with the solar eclipse now, which is nice. What I might do here is just, yeah, block that off. Enough that they can't just walk through. And can I... Yeah, I can hammer these blocks. Nice. And lastly, I need to break this and place another 2 here. Okay, and let's make all these half blocks so there's less of a step up randomly. Same with this one and this one. Did not mean to make a hike there. There we go. I could always use actuators to make this bigger, but hopefully it won't be necessary. Hopefully I'll just deal lots and lots of damage real quickly and win straight away. Use a Glock. I don't have a Glock, I'm afraid. I have a shotgun, but no Glock. Let's actually keep those in my piggy bank for safekeeping. And let's grab all my buffs back. Favorite all of them. Pyramids are much better since half the blocks can make you get caught in fast speeds when using the hook. Also, you can't use actuators in the temple. Oh, did they change that in 1.4.4? That doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Used to be a pretty powerful strategy before that then. I'm thinking I need another quick toilet break, so I'll be back in a minute. And I'm back to sleeping in hell. Oh, I've missed a lot of chat, it seems. Going to sleep now. Hopefully Skeleton Prime spawns in the game course and not towards my general direction. Nah, Skeleton Prime is coming for you. He's gonna kill you. Still a decent room size and nothing weird. You got lucky. Do you want to know? There are two ways. It all depends on how much of the arena you want to use, since if you have the smaller gap, then a few more balls can bounce out, and if you use the larger, then you have a bit less space, but most fireballs get stuck. The actual way you do is to leave a 2 to 3 blocked gap. God, these are so annoying, these imps. Yeah, leave a 2 to 3 block gap from the temple brick wall, and then place any solid block as a new wall. And then placed hammered platforms on the arena side so the balls can go in but not out. The 2 to 3 depends on if you want to have the full coverage on balls but lose out on another block per side of actual arena space. Or go with the 2 block gap and have a chance that some bounce out. There's a full thing on the golem wall hoik. Yeah, I'm not sure yet, to be honest. It is a decent arena, really. It might make sense to go for it on this side. I suppose I could do it on most of this side and just cut off this section here, since it's an uneven wall. Like I would at least have a consistent wall then. What the hell is that white arena? That's the Plantera arena, and it's completely spawn proof, so nothing can spawn in it. Because I don't want any enemies spawning during the fight and ruining it. That's already happened a couple of times on the Skeletron fights, which is rather annoying. Skeletron Prime, should I say. Hello GD Star 69, how are you doing? I just want to say how annoying it is that despite it only being 4 o'clock now, it's starting to get dark already. Like, why is that a thing? Why do I have to have my inside lights on just now to be able to not, like, have my eyes assaulted by my screen? Is it white from the Dynasty walls? Yeah, it's white Dynasty walls, which is... No, actually, it's white clouds. There's a little bit of Dynasty walls in the top corner here, but the rest of it's cloud blocks, which I got from a bunch of floating islands in different worlds. It's 8 to 10 blocks of space total, 4 to 5 blocks per side, depending on the gap, but you could only have the 3 block gap on the left side. Yeah, it might be better to go 3 blocks on the left side, and then 4 on the right. I mean, a lot of it will be 4 anyway. Even 3 blocks here would be like 4 for like a lot of it, I guess, here and here. What stage of the game are you on now? I'm waiting for Skeletron Prime to spawn. He's the last mech to go down, and he's, in this run, the hardest, it seems. I've had a lot less trouble with the other two. Mainly just because my damage isn't very high. I'm hoping that I get a nice roll on the Zappinator to do like 1000 damage, which would probably get rid of some of his hands in one shot, or at least take a big chunk out of his head health. And with that, that's all I would need to do to beat him, really. The annoying thing about the Zappinator is that it's the best weapon, and the annoying thing about the Zappinator is that it's the worst weapon, because it's all just RNG. Like, technically, I could use the Zappinator on Moonlord and hit for 1000 for like 300 shots in a row, and he'll be dead. But that's very unlikely. the chances of that happening are so low that it's worse. It's not worth thinking about. Gambler's favourite weapon, indeed, indeed. No, ignore the right since it's so uneven that they will just bounce out, or you will need to have a lot of space cut off, since the block and platform wall needs to be a straight wall for it to work. Yeah, but I'm thinking I don't want to be using that side anyway because I'll just get caught on the blocks, so I may as well cover them, and then I don't have to get caught on the blocks, and also it catches the fireballs that go in and bounce. Wouldn't the Captain America shield be good against Prime? It would if I could get one to be sold. Annoyingly, it's taking a long time for the travelling merchant to sell one. But who knows, maybe this morning one will come. That's the next hope, is either I get a Skeleton Prime spawn and I just take him down with what I've got, or the travelling merchant spawns and sells me the Captain United Shield. Sergeant United Shield. AKA the Captain America Shield, and I'm just adding those two words together, it seems. I've just got a comment from someone saying they're working on a vanilla short swords only playthrough, which is insane, and they're saying props for doing it in Calamity. I feel like it'd be harder to do in vanilla than Calamity, since in hard mode your only real option is nothing useful here, the Starlight, which is like arguably not a short sword, but I would argue it is. So you're using the Gladius all the way to Empress, I guess, which just doesn't feel right because Empress is on a timer anyway. Starlight is such a good weapon though. In vanilla, yeah, it's really good. In Calamity, it's kind of outclassed by a lot of other things. If it's not a full gap up and down, then it's not worth using the Hoik, since you will just get caught in it more than the fireballs would in a fight. No, it would be a straight wall, it's just it would have more gaps on one side than the other, I guess. Like, I would still do a straight wall all the way down. It's just the amount of space would be uneven that's free, if that makes sense. So yes, wall off the right, but only put a Hoik on the left wall. We'll see, we'll see. Can't you put water and bubble blocks to remove the fireballs from Golem? I haven't heard of that. If that's true, that's maybe better than the Hoik. With that size of arena, you will just cripple your movement more than it would help you, since there are not nearly that many fireballs in vanilla normal mode that your mobility is higher priority. Oh, that's the merchant leaving, not Skeletron. I'll maybe try it once without the hoiks. What are you waiting for? We're waiting for either the Skeletron Prime to spawn, or for the Travelling Merchant to spawn and sell something useful. Which at this point could only really be the Sergeant United Shield. I'm not sure if Golem Fireballs actually break in water. I do doubt it, as there is a chance it would flood anyways from World Gen Jank, and it seems like too big of an oversight on the devs. But I can't say for sure. Would it overflow? Because I think the temple gets placed after water. And the chance of you opening the door and water flowing through is quite rare because of how the temple is formed. Like, unless the temple is under a lot of water, it's probably not going to flood through enough because the amount of like ups and downs that it's got. I remember doing that in one of my playthroughs. I'll look into it between streams. I'm thinking at this point it's taken so long to get the Skeleton Prime spawn that I'm probably not going to be able to get to Golem in this stream anyway. The annoying thing is, if I could just spawn Skeleton Prime, this whole thing would have taken maybe like... Oh, let's go check what he's got. Like, the whole waiting for mechs thing, if I could just spawn them manually, would have taken a couple hours maybe for the whole, like, start to finish of the mech section. But because I'm just relying on the random one, it's going to take so much longer. Yeah, let's get some more Fa. And we've got like 40 sake, so we probably don't need any more. Got a stopwatch, got a DPS meter. Yeah, that's all that they've got for me. So water either removes the fireballs or slows them down. Interesting. Is this your longest challenge so far? No, probably not. I think Shimmer Block is maybe my longest. Shimmer Block was, I think, like 86 or something hours. I can't imagine anything was longer than that. Because, I mean, that's equally kind of RNG related. So far, this one hasn't actually been that long. Like, realistically, if I was doing a weapon restriction run, it would potentially take longer if there's a lot of farming involved. Or the kind of modded playthrough, if I was doing like the Calamity low percent, I think is probably going to take longer than this in the long run. Come on, spawn tonight, please. Please, please, please. Let something happen on stream. I wonder when editing if I should have like a day counter for how many nights I've slept through. How many solar eclipses have come and gone. It's hard because like this is so much of the run. It's probably going to be like half of the run is just sleeping in hell. But it's also so boring to watch. So none of this is probably going to make it into the video other than like a small throwaway section of me being like, oh, and I had to sleep in hell for like 12 hours. Even if it's 12 hours, it's not quite half the run, but you get me, I guess. No spawn tonight. Brilliant. I doubt the fireball code has been changed every time the temple has been updated in World Gen, and I know for a fact it has not always been that good and not breaking since it was added in 1.2. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Oh, what I was thinking I should do actually, I'll maybe wait till morning to do this, I need to add another house somewhere so that I can get the party girl to spawn. Because I've definitely got enough people for her to spawn, but I don't have enough housing for her to spawn in. I'm wondering where I want to do that. Could add her next to the shroom guy. This is all corrupted and I probably don't want to go through the process of uncorrupting it because it's just going to get corrupted again. I guess I'm just going to have to add housing. Yeah, truffle's probably the best bet. I mean, the fireballs taking potential flooding into account is reasonable since that could have happened when they were first added. I see what you mean. I also wouldn't be surprised if the devs did overlook it though. Because like how many people would think of it realistically? Traveling merchant, let's go see what they've got before I forget that they've arrived. Oh, Gatligator. That's nice, that's an option at least. Is that better than the shotgun though? Potentially. My inventory is getting so full. Bone Reaper. Is the Gatligator better than the options that I have at the moment? That's suitable housing. I'm just going to put another one here as well actually, in case I have any other NPCs that need to move in that I've forgotten about. mean, wood isn't as much of an issue now as it was at the start of the run. Gator is better DPS, but the accuracy is ass. Not sure if that would be more reliable than the shotgun with normal bullets. I guess I can try it out. It may be good in the first phase of Skeletron since it can hit multiple different parts. But once it's the head, it may be better to just switch to something more standard, I guess. Something that shoots straight. But would you say high velocity for the Gatligator rather than exploding? It would be so nice to just have a reforge on them. Like, I don't think people understand how good reforges are. They, like, destroy the balancing of some weapons. Well, not destroy the balancing, but they massively upgrade them. Okay, so the spread is pretty bad. I think this shotgun is more consistent, but also I think the Zappinator is the most consistent. High velocity is just better since it's piercing. Okay. I have gone through quite a few of those. I'll be fine. I've always got the endless musket pouch. Nice, Mimic. Let's leave him mad at me for just now. I think that's the third time an Obsidian Rose has dropped in this stream, and I've only been going for just over 2 hours. Usually I can go like over 2 hours just farming for 1. When I like can actually craft the Terra Spark boots. But in this, I can't. I can't craft any kind of boots. I think the orange Zappinator is probably our best bet. Okay, so high velocity is just better in general after the first mech. Interesting. I'm wondering if it's worth crafting more or if I'm not actually going to use the guns. And no spawn tonight. Oh, this is painful. Yeah, I hope that Terra Steel and Adventure 32 have something planned for this segment of their stream. Because it could be genuinely like a 20 or 30 hour thing for them, because they might not be able to take down each one as quickly. Like, I don't know if they'll be able to take down twins on their first try, because anytime they get hit, they're dead. And it's got Master Mode health as well. Shotgun could be better for hands, but it would all depend on how lucky the zap use is. You could beat the whole game once you got the orange Zappinator. That's not necessarily true. Well, you can. Whether or not it's easy is another situation. Because I've tried it out on Moonlord in testing, and it usually does not take out the moon plots before they get to the Moonlord. most of the time it's ever so slightly too weak to do that. Unless you get a good roll, which again, is just RNG. Thankfully the mana situation is fine for guns, for magic guns, because I have meteor armor, which doesn't use mana for magic guns. But for any other mage weapon, yeah, it's pretty bad. I'd estimate the DPS of Zap to be around Golem tier, as in on average, but it could be worse or better than that. You mean around the drops you get from Golem? Like around that tier? Because if so, I think it's probably lower than you think. At least without armor and buffs that would help it. A big part of the issue is that, like, if I just had Rage and Wrath potions, I would be dealing 20% more damage. And 20% more damage in this run is much more important than 20% more damage in any other run I've done. What are you currently trying to do? I am currently sleeping so that either a travelling merchant will spawn and sell me the Sergeant United shield, or maybe something better that I've forgotten that exists, or for Skeletron Prime to spawn so that I can hopefully take him down with the weapons I've got. And that's what I've spent maybe the last 12 hours in the playthrough doing. Although I did manage to get the twins and the destroyer down on their first try. The annoying thing about the mechs, the Skeletron Prime situation, is that I think I've tried him the most. Yeah, drop, since it can do the major job for most events, most types of weapons, and averages out to be an okay event thing and a good single target weapon. I don't know if it's as good as the Golem drops though. Maybe for events, yeah, but for bosses, I feel like the heat ray is probably much better, like significantly better. Like instead of 200, 300 DPS, you're probably getting a base 600, 700 with the heat ray. That's just me guessing those numbers. I could be completely wrong there, but that's what I would expect. Okay, come on. Give us a spawn, please. Ah, no spawn tonight. Okay. This is fun, right? We're having fun here. Feel free to ask any questions in chat about anything, and I'll try and answer them. Because I don't know what else I can do other than like tier lists, which I did in the last stream, but I feel like that's probably going to make it really hard to edit, because a lot of the time I forgot to then remove the tier list from the screen. I'm very bad at starting convos from scratch, sadly. I'm very bad at just talking on stream, so yeah. Like, what am I supposed to talk about here? I definitely don't know. I'm just here waiting. Just chilling. Just waiting for a travelling merchant to arrive. Waiting for a Skeletron Prime to arrive. Who knows how many travelling merchants I'm going to have to go through to get the Sergeant United shield. The angler calls himself a fisher, but he gets us to fish for him. It's true. The angler is a scam artist. That's what the angler is. And I think we're all forgetting that fact. What am I supposed to ask you about? Pff, that's a good question, and I don't know the answer to it. So I guess we're both equally screwed here. Because you don't know what to ask me, and I don't know what you have to ask me. If you could have one armor set, IRL stats, and set bonus included, what would it be? That's actually quite an interesting question. There's a lot I could go for here. There's a lot of different strategies you could do. Like, if you went for mining armor, would you just become the best miner in the world? Because you're so much faster than everyone else. If you went for fishing armor, would you be able to go into a bunch of fishing competitions and win because you're a better fisher than everyone else? How does fishing power translate to real life? I mean, you could just go for solar armor because you've got like massive defense and regeneration and you can dash. I guess Stardust armor would be pretty cool because you've got like this guy following you around that can beat people up for you. Statagel jump IRL goes hard, I bet. That's true. Statagel jump would be pretty cool. But so would Snow Ruffian armor, because you can fly, or glide at least. The movement stuff would be pretty cool, I have to say. Maybe Hallowed for the Holy Dodge. That could also be pretty cool. How does Holy Dodge work in real life? Because I don't get hit very often, but it'd be nice to know that if I did get hit, I wouldn't take any damage. What's your endgame armor plans? Either Tiki armor or create a bunch of characters and join the world to get Defender medals and use Old One's army armors. Those are the two options. I know I'd go for movement. Yeah, what are the best movement options? I wonder if it could dodge a boulder or a bullet. It should be able to dodge anything, any form of damage that you would take. So yeah, you'd be able to get shot at and it wouldn't do anything to you. Kinda OP if so, that's true. Not to get political, But was Donald Trump wearing hallowed armor when he got shot? Could have been. What if it gets wasted on a cramp or some BS though? that would be pretty annoying. Or like if you're going to the gym, because like when you go to the gym, you're kind of like trying to inflict damage on your body so that it then grows back stronger. So would that then kind of mess everything up? Also, you'd have to assume that the 30-second dodge would become a 30-minute dodge cooldown, since Terraria days are like 10 times shorter. Well, more than 10 times, because it's 24 minutes as opposed to 24 hours. So it's 60 times shorter. So the 30-second cooldown would be 60 times longer? So yeah, then it would be 30 minutes. Yeah. What other options are there really? I feel like you have to stick to the ones that have got really good set bonuses. Like, you don't just want extra stats. Like, you don't want to go for adamantite armor. Is this playthrough limited to one world? No, very much not. If it was, it would be a lot worse than it has been so far, because that doesn't really give you much if it's one world. You've got very limited money, so you can't spend it on much. You've got very limited loot, very limited reforges. Yeah. Magic carpet one. Are you talking about the Calamity one? I mean, Auric Tesla armor, if we're going for Calamity, the Auric Tesla would be insane. Then go for Valhalla. If you're going for Valhalla, you may as well go for Solar though, because we don't really have sentries in real life, and I don't really find myself needing to attack things in real life very often. Would Shroomite allow me to go invisible? That's the question, because that could be pretty useful. Oh, you were talking about in-game, go for Valhalla armor. I thought you were talking about in real life. Does the Tavern Keep drop the medals, or how do you get the first 10 free ones? He puts them into your inventory, which is why we've got those 10. So if I wanted to, I could create a bunch of characters, join this world, talk to the Tavern Keep, and get a bunch of medals that way. Then I would be able to buy armor from the Tavern Keep and sentries. Honestly, getting a tier 2 sentry might really help here. But I kind of want to save that as like a backup for Moonlord if I need it. But that's more tedious. Yeah, because I would also have to then defeat the Old One's army to use the sentries outside of it. Cactus armor would be nice. I guess the issue is that I would have to be wearing cactus, which doesn't sound fun. Honestly, maybe just multi-classing, like going for multiple different pieces and getting the maximum movement speed boost would be good. Because if you could just like run 50% faster, like you'd be able to enter races and stuff like that. Like if you could just wear certain clothes and run 50% faster, potentially more. I think Calamity accessories would be cooler, not gonna lie. Well, something like the shield, the sponge or the absorber would be pretty cool. Anything endgame really. I mean, the community just would be an overall buff to life. Like, you'd feel great wearing the community. If I could pick one, I'd 100% pick Gravistar Sabatons. I mean, if you're going for accessories, it would be stupid to not go for wings, I feel. Like, if you could pick any accessory, you may as well go for wings. And realistically, if it's Calamity as well, you would probably go for the wings that also make you run really fast. like going for the Elysian Tracers probably just makes the most sense. Nah, those boots would be so fun. Yeah, but how many times a day would it be useful to slam down on top of people and deal damage to them and not take fall damage? I feel like it wouldn't be useful that often, but if you could just like fly to the shops, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, flying in general is just gonna be cool. I feel like flying is probably more useful in real life. IRL, yeah, Celestial Tracers would be the best to go for. Yeah, I feel like it's the most buffs that are relevant to real life. You're also immune to lava. Like, let's not forget about that. Being immune to lava for 7 seconds is... it's probably not got that many applications. But I imagine you could get a job as like a meteorologist, or no, not a meteorologist, a geologist, and then like go collect lava samples. Revolver is useless. Okay, I guess let's top up on Dynasty Wood. Get another 1,000 or so. Yeah. Immune to everything while slamming. That's true. Bouncing everywhere would be just as cool as flying. I don't think you realize how cool flying would be in real life. Not sure if this is true, but apparently Mining Helmet allows sentries to deal full damage to bosses. Ignore defense, I assume. If that's true, it's a crazy slept upon buff. Is that a bug that would allow that? I can't see any like mechanical reason why that would happen. God, my hook is so slow. Other good ones would be Radiance for practical immortality from all causes that don't insta-kill you IRL, like having all sickness and then making you recover significantly faster. True, true. I know a guy who basically already has the giant tortoise shell stats IRL, which is knockback resistance, 15 defense and 5% damage reduction in real life. Is it Yardis? Nah, Yardis got that celestial shell buff. Could melee speed be useful actually? Would that be worth going for? I feel like I need to get the wiki up to have a look at all my options. Ankh Shield could be pretty useful because then you're immune to like bleeding, poison, the other stuff. Being immune to bleeding would be kind of good, I guess. Melee speed is what SpongeBob has max of when making Krabby Patties. True. Right, I'm getting the wiki page up on my phone to have a look at all my options. Right, we'll start with armor. Definitely basic wood armor. I think that's probably the best one you could use. And no Skeleton Prime tonight. I guess Shadow Armor's movement speed could be kind of useful. Like 75% acceleration and your 15% faster in general. That could be useful in real life for armor. Crimson armor for the regen, but then if you're doing armor, you may as well go solar. Like if you're going for the tanky armor, solar is just objectively the best. And again, for Crystal Assassin, if you're going for a dash, you're better just going for solar. Because you don't get hit often in real life. So getting hit 3 times to lose your dash wouldn't be that big a deal. What else have we got? Tiki armor would be pretty useless. Beetle armor, also pretty useless. The Shuramite, I'm curious if you go invisible when standing still. Because it would have limited utility, but the utility it does have would be pretty big. And then all the old ones armors are just kind of basic, I guess. It's an interesting thought. As for accessories, let's have a look at those. Beetle armor seems OP but gross as hell. Well, I think that beetle armor is just worse than solar though, for the purposes of like survivability. Maybe chlorophyte would be cool. Again, like how often are you in a position where you need like a crystal above your head shooting your enemies? I mean, I don't know what kind of life you live, but for me, I don't often have that problem. It's going to be hard to beat wings for an accessory. Like really, really hard. Celestial Shell is a good option just for overall buffs to life. Yeah, none of the other movement stuff I think beats beats wings. When I'm hiking, the crystal could get those pesky bugs and bears away from me. That's true. Me no use wing, I use bundle of balloons, my beloved. But would it be that useful in life? I feel like it'd be really hard to control bundle of balloons in real life. But wings, they just like get strapped to your back. I'm assuming you have to use the bundle of balloons by like holding them out. Whereas the wings just get strapped to your back and are kind of like a passive thing you can use when you want. I don't want to be holding balloons all of the time. I would take speed boots over wing. That's fair, I guess. No Skeletron Prime tonight again. So were you just answering based on what you would use in game, Neville? Fart in a jar, double jump, but at what cost? Actually, flying with a human body seems awful as a whole, to be honest. Oh, it depends how fast you're flying. it feels like flying in the speed that you're flying in Terraria wouldn't be that crazy, you know? Probably better than running like 42 miles an hour, which is what you'd get if you were using boots. And at least you get fall damage immunity as well. The starboard would be just like Kirby. Starboard might be too fast for real life. You maybe want to go for something a little slower. Well, I guess having the option to go fast horizontally is good, so maybe Betsy wings. You mean flying 40 miles per hour plus with wings, since if you go diagonally at all, you go faster. Yeah, but what's the problem with that, really? It would just be like holding your body out of a car at 40 miles an hour. Nothing crazy. Come on, Sergeant United Shield. No Sergeant United Shield. Pretty much know anything that's different from last time, actually. God, this is proving to be a long process. You know what? I've got it. The accessory you would want most in real life is the step stool. Don't even try and deny it. If you are at the shops and you're just trying to reach something on the top shelf that's slightly out of reach, step stool. Always got it on you. Just press up. I think actually, now that I'm thinking of it, that an underrated part of TerraSpark boots would be walking on water. You wear those and people think you're like second Jesus. You can run really fast, you can fly a little bit, and you can walk on water. And you're immune to lava and fire. For, well, lava for 7 seconds, fire just in general. So what I'm saying is, go for TerraSpark boots, start a cult. If only stools exist in real life. I know. Well, they do, but you have to like carry one with you. Whereas I'm assuming this is just like, you just put it in your inventory in real life. Oh, would it maybe actually make sense to go for the cell phone? Or the shell phone? Like, maybe the shell phone would be the most useful accessory. Because you could just teleport home whenever you want to. And you could teleport to the ocean whenever you want to. You technically could also teleport to hell, but you probably wouldn't want to do that. And it gives you all this information that's useful, like the time, you know, because who knows what the time is these days. It tells you how high you are vertically, your speed. It shows you how many nearby enemies there are. That might be useful to know, but that could also be very anxiety inducing. If you go to a party and it's like 10 enemies nearby, but you don't know who they are, that sounds awful maybe. At least there's some ambiguity without that accessory. It tells you how many that type of enemy you've killed. It says if there's any valuable ores nearby or yeah, enemies they've got, yeah. Weather in the moon phase, I mean you could just look up, but it's not an accessory. I'm pretty sure the cell phone is an accessory, no? Is it not? All of the separate things that make it are. The PDA is at least an accessory. But yeah, maybe the cell phone isn't. But it's only walk on water, and if you fall, then you would need to somehow get back on the surface that is never flat, so actually walking on water is extremely hard. Me when I use the demon conch and get teleported to the average office cubicle. True, true. It uses them, but I think it can't be put in a slot. I see. For the cell phone. Okay, let's get health and mana. I guess mana isn't useful in real life. Also, Charm and Myths, not very useful in real life, so yeah. Would construction ones be useful? Like the Hand of Creation? Is that a possible thing that would be worthwhile? You can place things down 50% faster. And further away. You can paint things automatically. And you can pick things up from further away. That's about it, to be honest. It would be nice, but nothing a machine can do generally. I assume you still mean the cell phone. Wait. I've got the answer. The objective answer. The best item to have in the modern day is the Greedy Ring. It increases your luck by 0.05. Increases the pickup range for coins. It causes enemies to drop additional coins. And it decreases all prices in shops by 20%. 20% discount on everything you buy. Life with a 20% discount, basically. You could just buy things and sell them on and make money. Sell them for 10% cheaper than you bought them. Infinite money glitch. Who's the enemy? Depends on the person. Enemies drop more coins. What's the translation here? Anyone you mug has more money in their wallet. Shiny Stone. There's an argument to be made for Shiny Stone. Being able to like regenerate health really quickly. If you're sick, I imagine that would help you get better sooner. But then Ankh Shield might just be better for that. I'm assuming, yeah, it didn't get a spawn tonight. Wait. Unironically, a useful item might be the gravity globe. You just fly into space. I don't know if it would be that good, but it's an option. Okay, the only place I haven't looked now is combat. I feel like for combat, Ankh Shield would make a lot of sense. Yeah, you're immune to poisoned, darkness, cursed, bleeding, confused, slow. You'd never be confused again in your life. You'd never be slow again in your life. Or weak. Or silenced. And you oh, but you know what? Never mind. You'd also be immune to being stoned. Damn. Sorry guys. There is a flaw. Ankh Shield's kind of strong. I feel like you get most of the benefits from the medicated bandage, because then you're immune to poison and bleeding. Yeah, Celestial Shell is kind of good, other than the fact that it transforms you into a werewolf at night. Getting transformed into a merfolk when you're underwater and have infinite water breathing is not a problem, though, I would say. Football player with Cobalt Shield would be cheating. That would be pretty funny, yeah. But do you have the defense to take the damage? Because you still take damage when you run through the people. Ankh Shield's good for American with their current healthcare costs. True. Well, being a werewolf could still be a benefit since you don't lose any control of your senses still. It would be a benefit if you were a furry, but for anyone else, I feel like it's just a detractor. If you could send Moonlord anywhere, where would you make him spawn? I'd pick New York City. I'm not going to go into that question. That feels like a dangerous question to answer. And no spawn tonight either. Brilliant. We're having a great time, guys. Huge idea. Copper watch. Imagine being able to know the time anywhere. True. But maybe actually tin watch, because tin's worth less than copper and you don't want to be too flashy, you know? I don't even know if tin is worth less than copper, to be honest. You'd only know the hour it is around the world. It's true, how would it work with universal time? Because there's no such thing as universal time in the world. Would it always just be the time that you're in? Would it respect human time zones? New York City mutant rats can solo Moonlord. Not a good place. Fair. I still think wings are best. I don't think anything we found would beat wings, other than maybe the Terra Spark boots. And if you're using Calamity, then you may as well just go for Celestial Tracers. Or Radiance if you want that longevity. Fair, don't want someone thinking me an enemy and mugging me to gain bonus gold. Yeah, wait, what if there was like, if you picked one thing, but you knew that someone else out there had, like one person out there had one of every thing. Like there was a person out there with a copper watch, there was a person out there with a lead watch, there isn't a lead watch, a silver watch, a gold watch, and so on, you know? Would that change what you pick? Flesh Knuckles would be funny. People just hate you, but you get 8 defense. Is that how we're saying aggro is? So if you get like negative aggro, do people just like you more? Because if so, something like Stalker Quiver could be quite useful. What if we spawned an ogre right in the middle of Chicago? Are we sure we haven't already? It's only bonus coins, so if your enemy doesn't drop coins, it has no effect. That's true. Me when using a knife in my kitchen with magma stone and burn my house down. Yeah, you have to think about the side effects of things, I guess. You probably don't want something that's gonna burn your house down. Or like, you wouldn't want turtle armor, because then someone comes in for a hug and you just kill them accidentally. Elemental Gauntlet would kill the world. How? If you could have one boss as your friend, who would it be? Calamity included. Ooh. I mean, the most powerful one would probably be Calamitas. Or Draydon. If you're counting Draydon as a boss. I imagine Draydon could just make you like this cool fucking mech suit that makes you immune to so much damage and stuff. And can like give you spaceships and things like that. If you got a friend who chose the Paladin shield, they're a real one. That's true. I would not take the Paladin shield. Sorry homies, but someone else needs to take that. Ceaseless Void or Poltergeist would be my pick. Why? Oh, hell yes. Right, let's grab our buffs here. Okay, and head to here. Let's go. Right, we want to make sure this is a good run. I think these are all the things I want. Oh, why is it a... Right, we're going to need to do this away from the desert then. Can't be doing this during a sandstorm. It's annoying because we miss out on the run speed, but it is what it is. I think I might go Now, is it useful to have that? Probably not. Shotgun arms a bit, then just go for the skull with laser. Need to buff up actually. I think kind of laser, to be honest, just in general, no? Or maybe Galligator to start, because it's dealing pretty good damage to a lot of different segments. It is loud. Why can't I use a healing potion? Oh, it's because I used honey. Oh, that. I was trying to use a healing potion, but because I drank the honey at the start of the fight, I couldn't. Alright, I'm thinking honey needs to not be a thing then, if that's going to do that. Do I just get a spawner from another world? I mean, I need to go actually searching through other worlds for more buff potions now. Okay, I'm going to take a minute. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so that was an issue. Let's get a separate chest for actual weapons that I'm using, or buffs that I'm using in fights, should I say. Okay, then I think I'll go searching through other worlds. Keep them there. And these. Realistically, I'm not going to need those in another world. Okay. Yeah, let's go with that. And then let's go searching for more potions. I'm assuming I've actually gone through most of the underworld in these, but it seems not. I probably want Celebration though, just for the better drops. I've been through this one. I have not. I thought this said Cell 10. Was this not Celebration Mark 10 world? No, that was drunk. I'm losing it. So 7. I've been through very little of the underworld here. Okay, let's just mine straight down then. What if you just did the mod that makes every buff you find permanent? That would maybe help, but I don't like using quality of life mods, so I'd rather I didn't have a quality of life, because it's harder that way. Let's get the ancient chisel on. Maybe the mining helmet too. Oh no, it doesn't speed it up, but it stops me having to place 2 torches. Need to actually use some strats here. There we go. Water is no longer an issue. Should have done that the first time. We get in there. Did I even? Yeah, I searched the skylines here. How's it going? It's going for sure. I've had one attempt against Skeleton Prime today, in the 3 hours that I've been trying to fight him, and it didn't go particularly well. There was a sandstorm at my arena, which meant I couldn't really use it. There was enemies on my arena that ended up killing me, and I realised that buffing at the start using a honey is going to stop me from using healing potions, so it wasn't a great attempt. And I'm very close at this point to cheating in the spawners for Skeleton Prime and saying, you know what, I've went through 12 hours of this, let's just, you know, we've proved that it's possible, let's just actually get on with the fight. Instead of waiting 3 hours every time I want to fight it. On paper, I should really get one every hour or so, because when I'm sleeping, time goes 5 times faster, and I think it would make it like a slightly longer than a 4-minute day. And let's say I'm like waking up to check the traveling merchant once every 2 or 3 days, you know? I think you should just spawn it in, to be honest. Part of me thinks that, but then I'm like, you know what, I've got this far without doing it. I don't know. To me, it doesn't affect the validity of the run at all. The question is if it affects it for me. Maybe run a poll. I might do that actually, yeah. I just think, you know, like if I was watching a video and someone did that, what would I think of it, you know? Would I think less of the video, or would it just be the same? Does YouTube have polls, or is that only Twitch? Yeah, I can start a poll. Okay, we're doing a poll. I never even think twice if someone does that, so long as they show it's possible. I don't know, to me it just kind of... It does feel like, oh, you didn't actually beat the game without picking up items because you went to another world and grabbed those items that allowed you to then progress. And sure, I technically wouldn't be picking up those items, I would be getting them out of a chest, but it's not like those items exist in a chest naturally. In the end, it's up to you. Yeah, that's the annoying part. Is I don't know the answer. Let's get the lava charm on. Nothing this far. There is the same argument that could come on Moonlord, since you need to get through all of the pillars each attempt. Yeah, that's going to be a very annoying part. Is this crispy honey block gonna burn me? No. Okay, there's some nice potions. Let's break the chests actually. Surprised they could spawn on crispy honey blocks, actually. I don't think the chests would spawn there. Nothing down here. Nothing down here either. Let's check in here. Nope, nothing. If you think you can handle waiting more time, I can't say nothing. Yeah, I probably can is the thing. It's not like it's hard, it's just tedious. And I think I can go through tedious things pretty well. I've probably been through more tedious things, you know. Also, even if you do then show that you have already spent 10 plus hours on waiting, that doesn't necessarily translate to a video, so you will get comments about it regardless. Yeah. Yeah, I think saying you spend 10 hours doing something doesn't actually convey the 10 hours that you spent doing something. Like, you just think of 10 hours as a long amount of time, you don't think of 10 hours as, like, actually 10 hours. Hello, the king. How you doing? You're starting to think I've got this waiting thing in the bag. Well, the annoying thing is, it could take 1 more attempt or it could take 5 more attempts. Or even more. Like, I honestly don't know whether I'll get it on the next one or the same thing will happen again. So it's not like a thing of like, oh, do I do it now or wait another 20 minutes and get it? It's something like, oh, do I just spawn it in or wait an undetermined amount of time, potentially not actually win, and then wait another undetermined amount of time and then potentially not win again. I think these are separate houses that generated one entirely in lava. For me, 10 hours in my brain seems like half a day. A bit less. Yeah, half a day that you're going to be awake, I guess. More than half a day if you're, like, asleep for 8 hours, like you should be. How can I download Terraria? I've been hearing so much about it lately. It's on Steam. It's the easiest way to download it, probably. And I'd very much recommend checking it out. Nothing in here. I realised I'm quite low on health. I don't know how you ended up here if you have never played Terraria before. But I'm not going to complain. I'm on mobile. Oh. Yeah, you can get it on the App Store then. I've never played it on mobile. I've played it on the Switch. Not for too long, but yeah, it's quite fun on the Switch. just want to mine through there. I can mine up here though. I can sell that actually for money. I'll drink the water walking so I can get over the lava a bit easier. Oh, there's another one up there as well. And Inferno, nice. Don't need silver bullets to be honest. Don't really need the dynamite. Magic power I do want to take, so what I might do is place down a piggy bank up here, since there's a chest over there that I can use as well. Place all my unstackables in there. So there's not another down here. No. Yeah, let's just place everything actually. No real need not to. Oh, so this is the part of hell I've been down to, and that must be my gravestone there then, yeah. There is one further down in that house. I could go for that. Very hot. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes. Wait, no. Hot dog is a taco, I think. Is that not the agreed upon lore? Hot dog lore? Hot dog is taco? Because it's sideways. But sandwiches are up and down. My main concern now is that I'm not going to have enough regen potions, because I don't actually know where I get those. Is it just Sky Islands that I can get regen potions? Does anyone know that off the top of their head? I'm thinking taco as well. Yeah. Either way, it's kind of yucky, not going to lie. Gold chests. Are you sure I can get them in just any gold chest? Yes, you are sure. Okay. Right, I will try on the next world. That is what is listed on the wiki. I'm thinking if I head back to my main world, I can then drop things off, put the Spelunker potion on to then mine downwards. No, this is not the main world. This is the main world. There is also the possibility that the Hellwing bow is actually better for Skeletron Prime than what I've got at the moment. Have we considered that? What potions am I missing from these? I've only got 4 regen left. Got Iron Skin, got Swiftness. Maybe the Dark Lance. Do we think the Dark Lance would be as good? It's very short range. I mean, the Mushroom Spear would be better, surely. Not for Skeletron, no, it probably wouldn't be. I mean, now that we've got some extra buffs, I could just go back to sleeping. These are all the buffs that I had before, right? Yeah, because then the Clintaminator Green Solution and Defender Medals would take me to a full stack of... with a line left. Just gonna check. None of that's infected. I think we're all good. Maybe use Flame Lash to take Laser out immediately, then swap to Ranger. The problem is I don't really have enough mana for that. Zappinator is the best option to just try to kill the laser and then go for the head. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. It's just a matter of not dying. That's the hard part, really, about this whole run. Like, I swear, if I had life crystals or access to life crystals, this whole run would just be, like, fine. It would not be an issue. The issue is I take damage like twice and then I'm dead. It's fine, we're going to get another spawn tonight and we're going to beat it. You need to stay on the left of Prime more. This run would be so much easier if you could pick up items. True, true. So stay on the left of Prime, you're saying. Interesting. I can try that. I'm also wondering if the warding from the Sandstorm in a Bottle is better than just the Menacing Anklet of the Wind. Because it's essentially 2% extra health each time I get hit. If I go for menacing over warding. I need to favourite all of these before I accidentally trash any of them. pretty sure these are all the buffs I have access to. Can't think of any others that would be available at this point. The 3 mains, then all the other ones. What about lucky or movement speed? There is a reason I personally do not like runs that don't have at least 400 max HP. Yeah, I can see that now that I've actually tried one of them. Even your fishing only run where you could only get health from crates must have been quite annoying. Lucky or movement speed I don't feel would be the best at the moment. It might be useful once I'm in like the end game. I need to see what my plan is for the end game. It may be worth me talking to Terrasteel and Ad to see what their plan is and then just copy that. Menacing is plus 40 damage on a 10x shot pretty much. Oh, so yeah, not worth it really. When getting hit would be 10 damage less, pretty much. Not quite 10. 8 damage less by going all warding, since I can't get warding on my jetpack. Right, come on, give me a spawn tonight. Tonight. Nope. Seems not. If you did a pirate invasion, set a wall of cannons on each side and just go crazy shooting cannons. I cannot do the pirate invasion, unfortunately. Yeah, pirate invasion is not possible in this run. $40 damage for 1 menacing and -2 damage for 1 warding. Oh, you mean per one? Okay. So yeah, what have I got at the moment? 132 magic damage. It wouldn't be exactly a 4% from that because I am getting, I think, 27% from this. And no other bonuses. I guess my magic power potion is 20% extra damage. Plus food is extra damage. Yeah, I feel like the -2 damage for warding is better. Is it possible in any way to get crystal shards or ichor or cursed flames? Not that I'm aware of. It's not that much less still. Yeah, it's 2% of my health. I mean, not quite 2% because I've got 120 when I'm using the life force, but like getting hit 5 or 6 times with that 2, like that's an extra 10% health that I would have lost. It's hard. Right, come on. Have something good. Where are you? At the jungle. This pylon isn't in the correct biome. Oh, it's turning hallowed? What? That's not good. Okay, let's disconnect this. And get rid of the hallowed here. And hope that that's enough. Oh, I can't get rid of it if it's... got trees on it. I'll need to break those trees. And this stone I can't break. I need to get bombs for that. The speed is what I'm looking at personally. Yeah, the 4% speed could actually make a difference. Could you just outrun Prime with a massive sand bridge and maximum movement reforges? The issue with a sand bridge is that I can't place sand. The only way to do that would be to use... whatchamacallit? Antlions, which is very tedious. Don't know what I'm doing at that intricate when I'm just about to blow this up. Hellwing is not that good. Okay. Good to know. Thank you. That should probably be enough to stop. It's still showing us. Oh no, I can teleport now. Okay. Good, good. And the party girl is here. When does she get here? I'm gonna go pogo stick now that I can actually get it in a normal world. I could have got it in Celebration Mark 10 a while ago, but for Prime, when you need to only get rid of the laser and then the skull. I assume that she's talking about Hellwing. I could do with more heart lanterns actually. Let's go to Celebration Mark 10 world and get some of them. I need to expand my arena. I think it's 4 that I need. I'm assuming there's not anything else here that I could use. Yeah, doesn't look like it. Nothing really beats Saphinator, though the shield would be better to get clear the arms and get a clean shot on the skull. What if you put every NPC in the arena so they could fight for you as well? Maybe they could help take limbs down. That's actually not a bad idea. I don't know how much they would help, but it might help a little. Let's save these so that I don't accidentally put them in the wrong place or drop them. Yeah, I don't know how much they would do, but you lose all pipeline access if you failed, that's true. Plus I would have to keep them relatively close to the boss. Would conveyors make any sense. I suppose mining, its movement speed isn't actually that big of an issue for me. They would majority move back in the time you're sleeping till the next. But I wouldn't be able to get to the underworld to sleep without them. Or at least it'd be very difficult to. I need to grab my arena buffs actually. They could either be dead weight and do nothing or come in clutch. Yeah. Would it make sense to go flying carpet over sandstorm actually? I can't tell. You would need to somehow make a spawn point near the arena, and if you don't have it, then you need at least 6 NPCs to be for pylons, and at that point, is it worth it? Yeah, that's also what I'm thinking. Carpet seems better. Let's go carpet then. And we're going to get a Skeletron Prime fight tonight in like 30 seconds. Just you wait. It's coming. Right, another like 6 seconds. After the next morning, I'll go and make food. I might do the same, to be honest, because we're approaching the 4-hour mark. Yep, no spawn tonight. Okay, one more day, and then we'll be pretty much at the 4-hour mark, which is the time that usually I end the stream. So we've maybe got a maximum of 2 more chances. I wonder how many defender medals you need to duplicate them. Like, how many do you need to research? Because I could just turn this world into a journey mode world. I don't know if that would be worse than getting other stuff in from other worlds. Oh, you need 50. But that would be 5 extra characters instead of 15. And then I would be able to get armor just now. Get a different staff now. Or a different sentry. Oh, also I did do one stream of the fishing run and got to cultist and killed it. Oh, nice. Was that from the start, or like did you get to the cultist in one stream? Because that's quite impressive if so. Next is Deos and it's not fun. No, I imagine not. I would say that would be worse, since it would lower the legitimacy of anything else you do in that world. Yeah, it would mean infinite everything, which kind of removes the jumping into different worlds that I did. What if you kill the boss right at your spawn, so there's hearts sitting there, so you can use a recall as an emergency heal? I do have a bunch of suspicious looking eyes. I tell you what, for the next stream, at the start of the stream, I will kill a bunch of Eyes of Cthulhu, and then I have those as backups. The annoying thing is that, honestly, healing isn't that much of an issue. It's just that getting hit is very punishing. Like, I would get more hearts from an Eye of Cthulhu than I could actually use. And if I've got life force, then they'll just get used throughout the arena randomly. The viewer would not have a good fast way to check if anything you do is cheated and or used any other journey powers. Yeah. I probably won't do journey. I got the cultist from Plantera. Oh, well done. That's still very good, even if it's not start of the game to cultist. I'm also assuming you've seen Prisma's new video, the hardcore Master Death one, which you feature quite prominently in. What if you used flippers and a trident for mobility and fight it in water? It's kind of like flying. I have wings for flying. My issue isn't necessarily movement, it's lack of health. Especially when that health gets taken away by the boss. It wasn't too bad, other than Death Mode Golem is always a pain. I haven't tried Death Mode Golem recently. It's been a long time since I've done a Death Mode playthrough, and it's been reworked quite a few times since then, so I need to try it at some point. Probably the next time I do a Calamity Challenge, it will be Death. Maybe Master Death, now that they've fixed a few of the things that were issues for you guys doing hardcore. And no spawn tonight. Okay, one more. Just one more. I can stop any time. One more roll of the dice to see if you get a spawn, and then I'll stop, I swear. Is it worth it to go for a sun and moon dial for the time? I can't get them legitimately anyway, since I can't fish because I can't get bait. I would love to see you play Calamity Infernum. I might do at some point. Honestly, the issue is I kind of prefer challenges that restrict your loot rather than make bosses harder in a way. Like, I've had more fun doing like the low percent and until I had to sleep in hell for 10 hours this than I did on like the short swords only run. Or than I would have if I'd just done Infernum as a ranger or something. Like, I wouldn't find that challenge particularly fun. It might be challenging, but it wouldn't be interesting to me to just play Infernum. Okay, if there's going to be a solar eclipse happening, I may have to end the stream. But I'll go through the chat first. I was pretty involved in the route development with Prisma and only started the hardcore runs on a whim and did a total of 7 attempts, though I consistently go farther than Prisma did on average in those. Yeah, I think you did well considering it was done on a whim. You've definitely had a lot of practice with all of the hours you've got in Calamity. though I lost interest after spending a total of a little over 100 hours of doing hardcore. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I also mean Death Mode Golem is always a pain in the challenge runs if I don't have optimal on-tier gear. Yeah, that's true. You can always skip them. At least in Calamity Golem is optional. Infernum, but every time you get hit, a jump scare covers your screen for a few seconds. That's a good idea for another YouTuber, maybe. I died on Ravager in my last run. That's very sad. Well, most runs were 5 to 13 hours at the lowest. Yeah, they do rack up. Once you've got 7 or 8 of those 13-hour runs, you're already at the 100-hour mark. Okay, I think I need to go eat. I think I need to end it here and go eat, to be honest, because we're in a solar eclipse anyway. Nothing's going to happen. I may wait out the solar eclipse off stream, just so we don't have to start the next stream with it. But I promise I won't do anything else. Okay. That sounded sarcastic when I said it, but it's not. I just feel like we've done a lot of waiting on stream, and it's not particularly fun for you guys to watch, so. How often do you stream? This is my first time being here. I try to do it weekly, but sometimes it's more often, sometimes it's less often. Yeah, it just depends on how I'm feeling, I guess. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining the stream, and for watching my most recent video if you did. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.